Welcome to another special bonus episode of the KBB Review podcast, all about the KBB Review Retail and Design Awards 2024. We're running this special series between now and the big awards event in March, and it's all courtesy of our 2024 awards podcast partner, Sonas Bathrooms. In this episode, we'll be meeting two of our big winners from the 2023 awards, held back in April in the great city of Cardiff. We have Joanna Geddes from our Kitchen Retailer of the Year, Kitchens by JS Geddes in Kilmarnock, and we have Shane Fraser from our Bathroom Showroom of the Year winner, Stone & Chrome in Surrey. We'll be finding out more about them and asking why they enter awards, how it can benefit their business, and we'll be getting their tips for doing great entries. Now, speaking of entries, the closing date is 5 p.m. on Thursday, November the 16th, and we will not be extending that date, don't bother even asking. It really is the absolute deadline. That's 5 p.m. on Thursday, November the 16th. It is totally free to enter the awards, it always has been, and we have business categories for the best retailers and showroom design, as you've just heard. But we also have New Retailer of the Year, Installation Company of the Year, which includes retailers who employ their own fitters, and Rising Star of the Year for employees aged under 30, making a real difference to their retailer's business. We also have Supplier Team of the Year for suppliers, manufacturers and service partners who supply to independent retailers, the clues in the question. And of course we have categories for the very best in kitchen and bathroom project design, and those categories are divided up by project cost, so there's something for all parts of the market. I really recommend jumping back a few episodes to the first of these award specials, where I go into all the details on categories, the judging process, and I give you my top tips for winning entries. And I'll put the link to that episode in the description of this one. But before we meet our winners, yes, huge thanks to our 2024 awards podcast partner, Sonas Bathrooms. As I'm sure you know, they're a hugely successful supplier of top quality bathrooms from Ireland who launched in the UK last year. You can find out more about them, their extensive ranges, and how to become a Sonas Bathroom retailer by going to sonasbathrooms.co.uk. That's SONAS bathrooms.co.uk, and that link is in the episode description. Say hello from me. So as promised, here are our two reigning champions. In no particular order, we have Joanna Geddes from Kitchens by JS Geddes. Hello, Jo.
Hello, how are you, Andrew?
I'm very, very well, thank you. Thank you for joining us. And we have Shane Fraser from Stone & Chrome in Camberley in Surrey. Hello, Shane.
Hello, Andrew. Hello, Jo.
So, Jo, look, let's start with you. For those living under a rock, give us the 20-second overview of your business.
So we are Kitchens by JS Geddes. We're based in Kilmarnock in Ayrshire in Scotland. Next year will be our 40th year in business, which is super exciting. And we have been in and around the KBB for a long time and enjoyed reading Taylor's magazine for a long time.
Oh, you turned that into an advert for us, Joanna.
I did.
I love that.
Sales.
Right, Shane, let's see if you can talk about how brilliant we are as well, as you tell us about Stone & Chrome.
So we are Stone & Chrome, based in Camberley in Surrey. As a business, we've been here for 16 years now. I've been here for 10 years. And we've been entering the awards for a number of years. Always a great night, but it's not all about that, as we're about to learn today.
Well, thank you so much for that. Now, Jo, let's start with you, because Kitchens by JS Geddes, or JS Geddes, as you always pronounce it, which I always find so brilliant. You've won the Kitchen Retailer of the Year more than any other company. Is it still a surprise on the night when your name gets read out?
Absolutely. And there was a really nice photo of myself captured by your photographer last year, and it just showed sheer amazement, excitement, shock. I think it just validates really the hard work of the team over the years, and it's a great feeling, definitely.
And how about you, Shane? What goes through your head when you're waiting for that gold envelope to open?
Oh, it's the most nerve-wracking thing I think I've experienced in my life. I remember this year just gone, myself and Natalie sitting there. We were unable to eat. We had no appetite. We couldn't really drink much, just from the sheer anticipation as to whether our name was going to be read out or not. It's a nerve-wracking experience, but when it is your name, it's an incredible feeling.
I seem to remember, Shane, that your limitations on not drinking disappeared after you found out you'd won.
Yes, I do recall that you did catch me for a podcast, which I haven't actually listened back and forth because I don't want to hear what I tried to say.
It's so good because it just demonstrates how much it all means to you. It's brilliant. You know,
Yes.
it's all very Oscars, that moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's one of my favourite bits, waiting for that reaction. But look, Joe, when you get back to the showroom, what does it mean for the business? Does the trophy just go on a shelf, or is it all about marketing from that point?
The big thing for us is the staff, and we're on our staff WhatsApp from the minute we get into the awards to the minute we go home, because everyone is so excited and just so anticipating our award category coming up. So you're getting that constant, are we there yet? Is it nearly our category? And when we get back to the studio, the staff are so elated to win, and that, as I said earlier, real validation. But what was really nice this year actually was we had one of our installers, Malcolm, had come with us to the awards, and he'd never been at an awards do before, and it was like experiencing it the first time. He was so excited, he couldn't believe, like you were saying there, the Oscars of the KBB industry, it definitely is. He couldn't believe, you know, there was stilt walkers outside, there was people in the hoops. He was just absolutely thrilled to be there. So when we do come back to the studio, the award goes pride of place at the front of the showroom entrance, so it is visible as soon as people come in, and it even prompts them to sort of ask the question, which is great. It leads us into telling them. But yeah, marketing starts from the night of the award ceremony. It goes on to our podcasts, it goes on to our newsletters really quickly, it's up on our social media. Obviously a lot of local press it goes into. The publicity as well, I think, which is quite unique for us, is that we are a relatively small town in Scotland, and I think the town kind of want to get behind you. It's a real success story. Last year we had one of the dignitaries of the local town come in to see us, presented us with an award on the back of getting the award. So this publicity thing can really start running away. It's great.
So you got an award for winning an award?
We did. How exciting is that?
That's amazing.
That's some good going.
So how about you, Shane? Independent retail is built on reputation and recommendation, isn't it? That's the cornerstones of it. How do awards help that? How do winning awards help that?
Similar to what Joe said, really. Here we put our awards at the front of the showroom, so as soon as you walk in, there is a nice shelf, which I need another shelf now because it's actually quite round. And it is that conversation starter, and it is that gives you that opportunity to explain to clients this whole KBB awards process, to the scale of what it is and what it means to us retailers.
It's about validation, isn't it? Proving that you are who you say you are and you can do what you say you can do. And being recognised by peers is a big part of that, I think.
We are really, really lucky that we are in a category that is, I would say, like one of the strongest categories in the KBB industry of all awards. The companies that we are up against and share that stage with are fabulous companies. They are very, very good companies. So I think it's one of the anticipation things is it could be anyone. It could be any of us that are up there that could win, and we can really have a great rapport with these guys. And I think it just shows that, you know, as independents, everyone wants to do a really good job for the customer. That's a given. But to have other people like us in the industry that are as strong, if not stronger at times, at different things than us, is fabulous, and it's very validating to have these people in categories with you.
So Shane, how do you use the awards locally? How do you market yourselves? How do you make sure people know that you've won these things?
So we have just trophies on display at the front of the showroom. The landing page on our website is updated straight away saying the latest award that we've won. And it's that conversation starter between client and us.
That's a really good way of describing it, I think, because it prompts people to ask questions, doesn't it? Like, what's that? Tell us about that. Well, you know, how did you win it? How does it work?
It does. And in our area down here in southeast England, there are a lot of showrooms, and we're on the outskirts of London. So it's a little thing that just pushes us slightly, or makes us slightly different from other showrooms, even just being a finalist, to show that, you know, we are in that kind of top tier of showrooms in the country.
Differential is incredibly important, and it gets people in and starts a conversation. And again, that's where independent retail is so strong. Once that conversation starts, they get to know you, and suddenly you've got that personal relationship with them. All right, let's move on a bit to the actual process of entering and getting judged, right? One of my things is always persuading people that it's not an incredibly daunting process at all, and actually might be a very useful process. So one of the things that makes our awards different, as you two are very well aware, is that if you're shortlisted in these business categories, you get a visit from a judge.
Yes.
Yes.
So Shane, let's start with you. How do you find that experience? Are you just waiting for the knock on the door?
I love that experience, to be honest, because it's the day, that's your final chance to kind of put your showroom forward. And it's a great feeling amongst us all, kind of getting the shop into its pristine state, constantly looking at every car that goes past. Is that them? Is that them? Yeah, and it's the fun bit, really, of being able to really showcase not just the showroom, but us as people. And that's the bit that you can't put across on the form. So to actually engage with the judges and kind of put across how we are as people, how we deal with customers, the kind of experience that we give them.
Yeah, I think that's true, particularly with these kinds of businesses. You've got to go and stand there to really understand it and really appreciate it. How about you, Joe? Because one of the things that we have with the judges is previous winners. Judges are always briefed that you have to judge them on what's happened in the last 12 months. You are of the year, and therefore you have to judge on the previous 12 months. So even though you've had judges there many times, you have to tell the story differently every time.
Absolutely. And I think that actually helps. Well, it certainly helps us in terms of personal growth. I think one of the things we always put onto our awards is that this is what we would hope to achieve in the next year. This is our goal setting for the next year. And when the next year rolls around, it's great to be able to say, we ticked that box last year, that was achieved, and this is what we're hoping to do next year. I think a year in business is not a long time to make massive changes. And I think when you're an independent and you've a lot going on, just, getting your sales, getting things fitted, that side of it, to make big changes that are really impacting isn't a massive amount of time. So to be able to show that, demonstrate changes to the judges, I actually find that quite a tricky part of it. But I think as businesses, we need to keep evolving. So if we're not doing that, then we've nothing to show or nothing to enter for. So was it maybe 2 years ago we didn't enter the awards? I think it was 2 years. And the reason being, we didn't feel we had enough to say that was different from the year before. And I think that's where we really take a lot of pride in our entry and take a lot of care in doing it, to say, these are changes that we're making, these are improvements we're making to our business.
Yeah, good businesses are always moving forward, aren't they? They're like sharks.
Absolutely.
They're always moving forward, and no matter how impressive your history is or your pedigree is, you've got to keep moving forward all the time. Let's go back to the actual entries bit, because I think some people get daunted by the idea of putting an entry together, like it's writing an essay for school or something.
And that's the bit I hate doing. That's why we need AI to take on, so that we can just get AI to do our forms.
So how do you approach it, Shane? Do you sit down and make a list of points you want to make? How do you actually do it?
Yeah, I would say we just go off from what he was saying and what Joe was saying a minute ago. We kind of see the awards as almost like a self-assessment each year. So it's a really good way, and it forces us to do it, to see what we're doing right, what isn't going so well. And then you kind of incorporate that into where you want to be in the next year. But yeah, form-wise, I would look at what we did last year, look at what we achieved, what we didn't achieve. And I keep it quite simple, I think, with bullet points in mind. Like I say, it's not an essay. Keep it simple and concise is my tip for that.
Yeah, I think that's very true. I think, you have to tell a story. My advice is always tell a story. And that story might include bad things as well as good things. So it might include things that have gone wrong. And we've had people who've won, who have had a flood, or they've managed to get the business back up and running again, which is still an incredible achievement, even though it isn't about having a massive turnover or making enormous profits. How do you do it, Joe? Do you sit down and make the list like Shane says?
Slightly differently in that we have our whole team there. So it's not, our team is only 15. So we have bits and bobs from each side of the business. So we have someone from installation, we have someone from design, we have someone from order processing, so on and so forth. And we really want them to tell us a story about the year gone by and the year ahead. So what challenges they've found, how they want to progress things at their side of the business. And actually, it's my dad that still puts it together. He put it together I think the first day we entered, which was maybe in the 90s, and he still does the final draft of it today because he oversees every part of the business. So I think it's important that everyone in the business is very transparent on what they do, and that's how we sort of build it together. Can I tell you a wee quick story, Andrew? Because I'm a storyteller. I'm sitting in an office just now where one of the pictures on the wall is a picture at the KBB in the 90s, and my dad had a lot of black hair. He doesn't. He's got grey hair now. And I remember being really young. I mean, I wasn't even in the business. I'm talking, I was maybe under 10. And it was so exciting when my mum and dad would go to the KBB, because I think it was a Wednesday night at that point, and it was always Birmingham, and it was super exciting. And we would stay up really late because the award would be 10:30 or 11 o'clock to hear if we had won. And I think that's why I'm still so excited when I go to this. It's so nostalgic for me, because it was built into big parts of our childhood. It was when my mum and dad would go away and stay away from home. I think it was the only time they actually stayed away when they were running a business all those years ago. But I thought I'd just share that with you because it's super nostalgic. And I think that's why the KBB, for me and for our company, is the biggest awards in the industry. It is the most prestigious ones. It's the ones that we will take time out to enter because of the prestige that comes along with it.
Well, I'm going to cut that bit out, obviously, and use that separately. But yeah, you're right. I mean, look, we're in 2024 next year, we celebrate 30 years of the awards. It's our 30th anniversary. We like to move forward as much as we can too. So the event and the awards and how we run it and how we judge it has evolved over the years as well. I've been doing it since, I think, 2006 or 7, something like that. And, I have slightly brown hair then, and clearly I do not have any brown hair now either. Let's round this off with a very simple question, really, and we'll start with you, Shane. If someone is listening to this and they aren't sure whether or not it's worth entering, is it worth the trouble, what would you say to them?
Absolutely. And I meet so many other showrooms, or people from showrooms, always say, you're always winning so many awards. And I said, well, yeah, do you enter them? No. Well, I think, you have to be in it to win it. You've got to put yourself through it. And as cringe as it is, you have to believe in yourself and put yourself amongst everyone else to be in with a chance to do it. So if you're thinking about it, do it. The form isn't that bad. We all leave it to the last minute, I think. There's always that panic on the 13th of November. And I see your LinkedIn posts, Andrew. And you say, come on, let's get the entries in. And I'd love to know the statistics, actually, of how many people do leave it the night before to put in their final submissions.
Give or take, it's about 3/4 of entries come in the day before or the day of the closing. Yeah.
Wow. So, yeah, even if you're that person, submit that form and enter.
What do you think, Joe? If someone was asking you, what's the point because you always win it, what would you say to them?
I would say it wins us sales. So if you want more sales, then it's a really good way to get it. It sets us apart from the next door neighbour. I'm so with Shane on it. You've got to be in it to win it, as cringy as it is. But what have you got to lose by entering into it, really? And I think what does put people off at times from entering awards is they think, well, our company's not a big company, or we haven't done anything miraculous. But see these small things that you're so used to doing in your company, that might be so different from what someone else is doing. So I think it's having a wee bit of confidence to say, we are a good business and clients are really happy with us. So yeah, we deserve to win an award for that.
Well, that's great. And as I always say, you are judged on what you do with what you've got. You're not judged on how big you are. Yeah, you're a fantastic business and you've won this more than anyone else, but you are not a massive business. You are not a massive retailer at all. And the ones that are certainly much bigger.
In comparison, I am of a showroom of three staff. There's 3 of us in total. So that's the level of small scale that we are. And if we're able to put ourselves forward and get somewhere, then anyone is.
Thank you so much to you both for sparing us a bit of time today. Congratulations again on your win, but make the most of it because who knows what 2024 will bring. Thank you both again, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Andrew. Enjoyed it. See you later.